Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Fishing Planet. This is Kachi, also known as Delacaba. If you've been following this series, you may be a little startled to look at the top of my screen and see level 13 when the last time that we did anything, it was like level 6. And that is because after going through and playing on the Mudwater River and then moving on to Rocky Lake and taking care of some missions there, I went to review my footage and found out that the sound was utterly and completely borked, and therefore the footage was no good. So just a real quick recap of what happened during the period of this footage that is not worth a crap. We went and did the Mudwater missions and did the Rocky Lake missions, and then came to the shop, and because we had earned 30 gold coins total, I was finally able to get the Compa bag, which is the best tackle bag available to us until we hit level 21. I also picked up the triple case to allow us to carry a third rod with us. I upgraded from a very small live keeper to a pretty substantial stringer. The biggest thing to bear in mind with the stringer is that you cannot release fish once you've put them on the stringer, so you got to be mindful of what you're keeping and what you're not keeping. I also upgraded to a comfort camper vest, and we added in to our mix a new Creek Pro 7'10" picker rod. That's a feeder rod made primarily for working in moving water, creeks and rivers, and the various bells and whistles necessary to make it operate. Upgraded the reel on my Omnifloat and upgraded my reel on the Windcast, and just kind of shuffled reels along until everybody has one. We ended up with a fair new collection of spoons and spinners. I picked up this little spinner right here as a reward for one of the quests that I did, one of the missions that I completed, as well as this narrow green spoon, which is a killer if you know where to use it. Let's see, I think I added a 1-inch glow shad and a 1-inch red grub. We've got our yellow shad, and that's going to be important to Emerald Lake, which is where we are going next. Oh, we've got rainy weather. What this means is it is, in theory, an excellent day to catch walleye. And walleye pay. Alright, so what we're going to do, since it is a walleye day, is we are going to come here to our spoons and spinners, and we're going to put the narrow 1/4 spoon on there, just like so. And we're going to rent the kayak, which is another 1,000. Well, let's hold off. The big problem is that from here we really can't reach the walleye area very well, but we're going to give it a go. But this purple narrow spoon is pretty dandy for walleye. There's a big old hole out there that we're trying to sink her down into, and it looks like we did make it into the deep part. But the rainy weather, we've got a good chance of picking up walleye, and I know where the sauger are out there, so we could be alright. Nice lift and drop. There we go. Ooh, my line is at 81%. We're going to have to swap that soon. So we got lucky. We got very lucky. Coming in the rain like this. Come on. Seems like a halfway decent fish. Walleyes usually aren't much in the way of fighters. Tasty, tasty fish. But the fish fight is usually pretty bland. Come on. There we go, trophy walleye. Right off the bat, 485. Hot diggity. That is a brilliant way to start our day. Let's hope that it continues on in this fashion. Because it's about the only real money-making fish available. All right, we had a hesitation going down, so we may have had something fiddling with it before we even hit the bottom. Hop it up, spin her up, rinse and repeat. See if we can get that good lift and drop again. But the rainy weather really wakes up the walleyes. Come on, fish, don't make a liar out of me. Yeah, we're pretty much up out of the area where the walleye would traditionally bite, but because of the rain, they walk a much broader path. Come on, pal. Normally, we'd only have a chance of picking up walleye about a third of the way back towards us. But because of the rain, they're coming much farther out of that deep hole back there than they traditionally do. So that's why I'm tickled to arrive and find it raining. Let it sink down, and sometimes I'll just kind of give it a little bit of a twitch as it sinks, and we'll get a pickup on the drop. All right, here we go. Got a great start to our day. One more decent walleye, and we've already legitimately covered the cost of our advanced license. But of course, we got the 500 credit bonus for our first arrival here, so we have already got that covered. I don't think this is a walleye. Might be, but it's not giving me much of a fight. We'll see soon enough. Oh, by golly, it is. Or did we pick up a sauger? What do we got here? Oh, it is a walleye. All right, fantastic. With the situation as it is, it's going to be walleye fishing until either the rain stops or I get sick of walleye fishing. add a slight lateral pull to it, improve our lift and drop. Come on, lift and drop. So you can see all of our hits have been right around 60 feet out. Yeah, and normally it would be almost double that to tie into the walleyes out here, if you were lucky enough to pick them up on a sunny day, you know. The sauger really like the yellow minnow soft bait, and we're going to be using that. And depending on how we do here in terms of our overall catch, if we end up where I feel like we're money enough ahead, we might jump in the kayak to go fish the sauger, because they're a bit farther out. They're kind of hard to get to. 362. So just for a sense of perspective here, we can pop this out, go to our inventory, select fish keeper, and you can see we're 1,372 off of 4 walleyes. So only have another 2,700 to go. That tree right there that's got kind of a little hole in the middle, that is my aiming point. Just as far that way as I can get. I'm just ever so lightly tapping the mouse to kick off a stop and go while it's sinking down, just because every great once in a while you'll get one that'll pick it up as it flutters down. But you saw we started out about 120 feet out. And we're picking up our fish in at about 60. Though we can pick them up anywhere along that. And during non-rainy conditions, it's out there in that hole at around 120 to around 90 that we would normally pick the walleyes up. So that's why I am tickled for it to be raining. And based on the fishing forecast, I got a feeling it's basically going to rain all day. That time we got inside the line and no sign of a fish. We're just going to bring her in and recast. Oop, that was a brilliant cast. Professionalism at work. That was a little too quick on the draw. But with how long it's taking it to settle to the bottom, that's how we know we're in that deep area out there, which is prime walleye territory. Sometimes if your lift and drop won't go to 2 dots, adding a slight, lateral movement to the rod seems to help with it. Swap that over to a stop and go. And a small chance we pick up a chain pickerel coming through here with this. Alright. Well, what we're going to do, just for the giggles, since we're making progress here, is we're going to swap over to a 1/4 ounce #1 jig head, and I'm going to put this 1-inch glow shad on it and toss that out there just for the fun. Got a good long cast out of it. Just the tiniest bit of action on the reel while it was settling, just to kick off any kind of retrieval pattern, whether it's twitching or stop and go. There we go. With this, there's a small chance we'll pick up sauger here in this area. Oh, yellow perch. Which is why we use the narrow purple spoon, because the perch tend to stay away from it.